Chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita overview. The entire Bhagavad Gita is concluded or finished in 17 chapters, and to emphasize the goal of surrender to Krishna, the essence of the previous chapters is taught in this, the final chapter. Here Krishna concludes, as he has done throughout the Bhagavad Gita, that one should practice devotional service. So, in this chapter, first section is verses 1 to 12. Karma Yoga, superiority of working in devotion over renunciation of work, is described. Krishna here begins his summary of all he has previously spoken by again stating or giving his prescription that Arjuna renounce the fruits of his work, not the work itself. So these verses 1 to 12 are a summary of the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, which describe Karma Yoga. Then the next section describes Jnana Yoga. These are verses 13 to 18. After summarizing his teachings on karma, Krishna describes from the viewpoint of Jnana, which is the subject matter of the last 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, how it is possible to act and yet remain free from all reactions. Krishna is citing or quoting Vedanta and analyzes activities as comprised of 5 factors. So this is verses 13 to 18. Now in verses 19 to 40, Krishna describes different things again in the modes of nature. He describes in detail how one's work, according to the 5 factors, is dictated by the 3 modes of material nature. Knowledge in the modes of nature is described in verses 19 to 22, and actions in the modes of nature are described in verses 22 to 25. Then verses 26 to 28 describes one's performance of action, and verses 29 to 32 describe one's understanding in the modes of nature. Verses 33 to 35 describe one's determination in various modes of nature. And verses 36 to 39 describes one's happiness in the modes of nature. Next section is verses 41 to 48, worshipping Krishna through one's work. Although all work is controlled by the modes, as described in the previous verses, one can become free from the reactions of work by performing one's occupational duty as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, while at the same time worshipping the Lord through that work. The next section is verses 49 to 55. They describe the path from Jnana Yoga to pure devotional service. Lord Krishna explains in this section the stage where one can give up prescribed duties, Jnana Yoga, wherein one purifies himself by use of intelligence. This leads to the stage of liberation when one becomes qualified to perform pure devotional service. Then verses 56 to 66 describe surrender to Krishna. After explaining the importance of devotional service for understanding Him, Krishna here describes how one can overcome all obstacles by depending on Him and working under His protection. He next explains more confidential knowledge of Supersoul than the most confidential knowledge of surrender to Him by becoming His devotee. And finally, last section is verses 67 to 78. So, this section describes how Arjuna agrees to fight, and Sanjaya is confirming that Arjuna will be victorious. After hearing the instructions of Sri Krishna, Arjuna is fixed in determination and ready to fight. Sanjaya, after narrating this conversation to Dhritarashtra, ecstatically thinks of the universal form of Krishna and predicts victory for Arjuna, the supreme archer, for he is surrendered to Krishna, the master of all mystics. This is his reply to Dhritarashtra's question, which is given in the opening verse of the Gita. So this is the last chapter, and regarding these chapters 16 and 17, they are very short, and this is because in the manual that I was using and from which I was using it as a basis to give you these overviews, they are also very short. This is how devotee educators have created it. So I just want to let you know the reason why they are very short. And now, when you want me to send you questions, you can let me know, and I can send you questions for each chapter. And if you let me know if you want these questions all at once, or you want me to send you one by one chapter, every day one chapter, or you just tell me how you want me to send you the questions. Thank you. Good luck.